All right, we are back with Launa. We were talking about the life stress inventory, and she's going to walk us through a few more kind of pieces of that in detail. And we've been talking about how relevant this is and important it is to talk about what some of these stressors are, because we teach this. I teach about stress, I teach about trauma, I teach about regulating emotions and regulating all of these things, and I am still struggling, even with having all of that information. So we definitely want to make sure we're getting that information out as well, so it can help other people as well as ourselves. We all need a little reminder that things are hard right now, and that it's okay that these stressors are adding up and that we're struggling. So Lana, walk us through some of these stressors and what kind of impacts they're having.
Yeah, for sure. I think the first thing is we're in a pandemic. Like, and no one in our generations that are existing have been through this, you know. So we're in uncharted territory. So I think the more we're kind to ourselves and acknowledge that, you know what, we're a little dysregulated and things like that, the better. So I hope this is a scientific tool. It's not a Facebook quiz. It's none of those kind of things. It's based in research about life stress inventory, but it's also called a social readjustment rating scale.
Oh, I love that.
That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to readjust to the new normal. Whenever we have these big punches in our life, whether they're positive or negative, I was supposed to go to Mexico and get married this summer, but guess what? That's not happening. But I still am in love and getting this really great guy, you know. So let's just talk about some of the things that, according to this readjustment scale, potentially have big effects on our health and our ability to cope. So this, again, is not meant to add stress to anyone. It's just to kind of validate that we're in this together, and there's a lot of things happening for a lot of people. So, so I'll read the top 10. The top 10 stressors for readjustment. The life event that happens. Number 1 is death of a spouse or a grandparent. You know, there's these big things that are happening all around us. Divorce, marital separation from a mate, detention in jail or other institution, death of a close family member, major personal injury or illness. Boom, we're in it.
That's everyone.
Marriage. Good or bad, your call. I don't know. Being fired at work is one of the top 10 stressors. With the unemployment rate skyrocketing, and knowing that that's one of the top 10 stressors on health and readjustment, we have to acknowledge it, right? And marital reconciliation with a mate. So if you're now stuck with that person 24/7 and you're trying to reconcile, it's in the top 10 stressors, right? And number 10, retirement from work can also be.
Wow. You're right. There's like a mix of things you would think of as positive that you wouldn't think of as being a big stressor necessarily.
Yeah. So I think that's, if you take anything away from this little chit chat we're having today, it's that everything can be stressor, just depends what's happening. Even if you're excited and good about it, it can still be stressful to a large degree. So I just want to highlight some of the scores that go with some of these things. So indulge me. This is I'm new to this live streaming kind of thing. So one of the things we said, divorce, out of a scale of 100, that will be 75 points of stress on this inventory. So that's a big one. Illness, we hear about it all the time right now. And sadly, all we hear about is COVID, but there's so many other illnesses that people are working through right now. Again, huge score there, 53 on the index scale, right?
That's a good point, because there is a lot of illness that now is being overshadowed, but people are still managing.
Yeah, dismissed. I was just talking to a friend of mine, and their mom has cancer, and it's just as real for her as anything else, right? So Excuse me. Knock out the sick. I just, had a cough. Being fired from work. Again, one of those top 10 with our population going. And even though we're not fired, we're let go because there's no jobs, it's still being fired in our stress. How about this one? This is also a major change in work.
Mm-hmm.
There's very few, if any, place left doing work as usual. You have to wear a mask, you have to have social distancing, you have to have plexiglass at the grocery store, all those things, right? That's adding just little drops of stress to us, This is a big one. A spouse beginning or ceasing to work outside the home. Right? Yeah. It's another one that's in the inventory. And again, I don't know how many families are experiencing that exact thing.
Yeah, adding up already.
Yeah. Beginning or ceasing formal schooling, like we've talked about, whether that's your children, your university children, yourself. Again, it adds drops of stress into that pool that we only have so much room for. This one really was timely. Major change in working hours or conditions.
Oh, yep.
Right? I mean, look at us right now, Angela. This is us. Things have changed a lot. A major change in the number of family get-togethers. Right? You talked about just going to see your mom just for a few minutes and how nice that was to just, get some nice muffins and some conversation,
Yeah.
So those are just a few of them. And if you've experienced a combination of any of those, you're already approaching the 150 to 300 mark that we talked about, which will affect your health, your physical and mental health, right?
Yeah.
So again, it's 50% higher chance that we're going to have some of these things, or higher, right? So I just really, I share this with a caution. It's not meant to add to your stress. When you get stressed and your cortisol levels are high, you know what? It takes a lot to bring it down. So hopefully this information just validates that we're all in this together. We're all experiencing it and we all need to address it. We're not alone, So I hope that's, again, Angela, if you can just post the link so people can go, take a look at it. If they have questions, I'm sure one of us can, reach out and share some other things. We have some partners with the Canadian Mental Health Action Plan, Alberta 211. We have some great resources that are available today. They're free. And if we can help in any way, a little way, I mean, we are who we are. Awesome. But that's about where it goes, So thanks for giving me a chance, Angela.
Thanks for telling us about it. I know even just for me, like I said, we know these things, but hearing them again is like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, we are experiencing a lot. And now that it's a few months in too, I think some things start to feel not like a normal, but we forget just how different things are sometimes and that they're still impacting us. So thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Bye.